Hello, magical one. I thought that I would send you a video newsletter this week as I seem to be spending a lot of time in front of a camera, and I thought, why not? As I've mentioned in my current newsletters, I am doubling down on social media and teetering into TikTok landscape. So because I'm doing a lot of lot of posting on there daily, um, which are very short form videos, they're seconds. And the thought of doing a longer form video to you was and is a luxury to me. So here I am. Okay. And how are you? I hope you're fine. I hope you're enjoying the weather, whatever part of the world you're in. We've had non-stop rain. I think today it didn't rain for about half a day, and for the rest of the day it's poured down. So hey ho, it continues. We're having a very wet late winter, early spring, and really that's what I want to talk about today. Is I want to talk to you about some seasonal witchcraft that we can all do. um, Now, me being an oracle reader, and of course I've got my own deck, the Magic of Nature Oracle, I naturally work with oracle cards daily. It's just part of my practice. And of course I work with my own cards, I do readings with my own cards, and they're just such a wonderful tool. So I'm always wanting to share that magic with whoever I speak to, really. And I know that there are some of you who are my students, who have been my clients. And so, nothing gives me greater pleasure than to share a magical practice with anyone who cares to listen and who might take on the practice themselves. Because believe you me, this is such a grounding practice. And especially at the moment, I don't know about you, but I think that there is so much noise at the moment cosmically, isn't there? Talk about what the planets are doing, what the energies are doing. And I know that we're all subject to and at the mercy of these planetary energies, but, even more reason to be grounded in ourselves and in our lives at this time, because I am definitely feeling it. And I know it's eclipse season. I know that we've had the Aquarius new moon, I think it was, the other day, and and so on. It continues. I'm not an astrologer. I've got a very good friend who is, Linda Gemmell. Check her out on her Substack. But so I think this practice for some seasonal witchcraft is a really good one. Now, if you're a practicing witch on the northern hemisphere, this will make more sense because it's to do with winter and spring. So forgive me if you're in the southern hemisphere. But so if we feel that we are caught in that liminal space between winter, okay, and spring. Now, winter is a time of rest. Spring witchcraft is a time of not so much productivity, although we think it might be, but it isn't. All right. So I want to talk to you about just working with two of the cards from the Magic of Nature Oracle. So let's start with winter first. All right. And I want you to think about what winter means to you. All right, what winter has meant to you. Now, we know that in nature, winter is all about rest, isn't it? Mother Nature dies back, she has a rest, she lies dormant, she sleeps. All right, she puts her feet up, has a cup of tea that lasts for quite a long while. And it does us good if we can naturally align with her cycle of winter, her season of winter, because the light is is less in the winter time for us. So we do find it easier to do that, don't we? So I know that we can't stop completely, but I do try and become aware myself of really just slowing down and just internally becoming more aware of a slower pace and resting and contemplation and becoming a little bit more introspective, a little bit more meditative practice during the winter months. Even though we still have to carry on, we still have to work, most of us, you know. I love going out for my walks with the dog, so I'm not totally a hermit inside for the winter months. And I love walking out in the winter time, not when it's rainy and cold and windy. But anyway, so I want you to think about, if you can pick this card, focus on it, tune into it, connect with it, and just think about the healing and restorative nature of the winter spirit. And ask yourself, what have you been doing this winter to become aware of that, to receive its benefits? All right. And that's a good one, okay, because we're still in the last throes of winter here. I mean, it still doesn't really feel like spring to me. But anyway, we are caught in that liminal space. We've just had in bulk a few weeks ago the first stirrings of spring. We've got some snowdrops in the garden. I've just seen quite a few daffodils, but only in the last couple of weeks. All right. Whereas last year, I remember that the spring was quite early and warm. But this year she's cold and she's wet and she's late. Thank you, Mother Nature. So this is the second card that we can work with and tune into and focus on and really ponder over. All right. And think about where planning comes into our lives. Now, I'm not talking about planning per se, writing to-do lists and, because we can all get into that thing, can't we? I mean, I know I have with my writing. And I think that we have to remind ourselves that, nature is such a good teacher because she doesn't plan, she naturally unfolds. And if we can learn from her and take our life at that pace, all right, don't force it because nature doesn't hurry anything, does she? All right. And just think about just nurturing the seeds of our ideas, the seeds of our plans that we're having, because again, back to these cosmic turbulent energies at the moment that are chucking us all into the cosmic washing machine and just going round and round and round. Because I know that many people that I'm speaking to, friends, students, colleagues, are all saying how much they're feeling the effects of this energy and how it's throwing them into a bit of a spin. All the more reason to be grounded. So when we feel this energy, okay, it's very difficult not to try and act on it, isn't it? Oh, I'm having all these creative ideas and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'll start on one project. And before I finish that, I'll start on another. And oh, by the way, I've just remembered that other project that I still haven't finished. And it goes on. But if we can just slow down and think, maybe make a list of all our ideas, because once we've written them down, that's it. They're grounded in writing on a piece of paper and we won't forget them. All right. But just think about using this time in this liminal space to just nurture and nourish those ideas with still that resting and recharging that energy of winter that we're still in. Okay. And just really making space for these ideas to grow, because if we don't make space for our creativity to grow, we can't manifest anything. We can't co-create with the energies of the universe to bring about anything in our lives, because they just stay underground or unfinished. All right. So those two cards, a really good practice is just to get them out, and just think about looking at them and tuning into them and just seeing where you are in between them. in that liminal space. Where are you? Are you still benefiting from that healing, restorative, restful energy of the winter spirit? And also, are you very gently guiding yourself into spring with nourishment and nurturing, and just allowing your seed ideas to grow and germinate and just come up and rise above the ground and stir into spring? Because that's what this practice is all about. It's such a grounding practice, and it's something which we not only do we internalize, but we take out into the outside world when we go for our walks, when we're outside in nature. We still see it. I mean, I'm still seeing blackthorn, which is normally the first thing on the sea wall round here to bud, hasn't even, the buds are only just starting to show any color, any white, and they're nowhere near opening yet. Right. So I don't know what's happening at the moment. Everything is late. But so I think all the more reason for us to think about just slowing ourselves down and just taking it easy, having more cups of tea and more naps in the afternoon, siestas, and not feeling guilty about it. Because I'm the biggest one at that. I can feel guilty because I think, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Actually, it's fine. It's okay to do that. So rest up, nurture your ideas, and just, allow them to develop and organically grow. There'll be plenty of time to put them into practice and manifest them and take action on them later. All right, and we'll come to that later. Okay, so there's a little practice with the Magic of Nature Oracle. I'll put the link in the newsletter. What else have I got to talk about? Also, if anybody is on TikTok, all right, I'll put my TikTok link in as well. I've got a shop on there now. And the good thing about having a shop on TikTok is that everything is discounted. So if you're on TikTok, then you can buy the cards for, I think it's at least £8 cheaper on there. And also it's free shipping. So you don't have to pay for postage, which I think is great, really. So that's the TikTok news. I'll be going live on there soon to do some chatting about my writing and the cards and just connecting with readers. So yeah, if you're on there, please come and join me. I'd be very pleased to see you and have a chat. And what else have we got going on? Oh yeah, Ian and I did a recording, latest recording of the podcast yesterday. And in the podcast episode is our first track from the Grail Maiden album, which you may have heard me talking about. I think I may have mentioned it in a recent newsletter. Certainly, we've talked about it on the podcast. And for those of you that haven't heard about it, then there are lots of, as I was writing this book, there, being a songwriter as well, and because it was the voices of the Wells, the Maidens of the Wells, who were the singers, of this beautiful sacred place, songs and chants found their way into the story. So they're woven through it. And we have started to record those songs and chants in our studio. And we've got the first one down. So we've published that on the podcast, so do have a listen to it. Ian's editing it at the moment, so it should be out in the next couple of days, and I will be letting you know about that next week if you haven't heard it already. Okay, so really excited about that. There's probably about another 6 or 7 songs to do, so we've got a bit of time yet before we can actually release it as a companion album, but it's on its way. The ball is rolling, as it were. What else? I think that is it. So yeah, rain. I've got a whole day of teaching horse riding tomorrow in the rain, probably. So never mind the blooming fire horse energy. There'll be lots of wet horses around. So, but I do love teaching. I love teaching, and it's lovely to still have horses in my life. I had a whole career with horses. A whole sort of 35 years of my life was working with horses, teaching horses and riders and training them, and all over the world it took me, and I loved it. And the horse to me is one of the most magical animals ever on the planet. And if it wasn't for horses, honestly, I don't know, I would have derailed long ago, believe you me, but that's another story. And so there we are. I'm hoping and wishing and sending you lots of love, and have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Okay. And I'm going to stop the recording now. So just bear with me while I find the right buttons, and lots of love. Okay. Mwah. Bye.